Hey sister, welcome to my channel. My name is Portia, and today, as you can tell by the title of this video and the intro, we are going to be diving into the James Charles and Tati Westbrook situation, drama, tea, whatever you want to call it. That's what we are going to be doing today. Before I get into it, I want to mention a couple of things. Number one, if you're not really sure what's going on between the two of them, I'm going to link Tati's video down below. I'm going to warn you, it's like 40 plus minutes long. So grab a snack and a drink and get comfortable because it's a long one. And I'll also link James Charles' apology video down below as well. It's about 8 minutes long, and I'm gonna let you see for yourself what you believe, what you think about it, because I feel like I wouldn't be able to do the situation justice if I tried to explain it. I feel like you should go directly to the source rather than through me. Also, I want to say that this is not going to be a video where I'm going to bash anybody or I'm going to take sides. As a professional tarot reader, I can't do that. Okay, that's against my code of ethics in the line of work that I do. What I do is I peek into the situation and I come at it from a neutral standpoint, and I see if I can bridge the gap of certain situations that are unraveling and see if I can't find a middle ground, something that can help these two people, see how each person is feeling, what could happen in the future. That is more my, I don't know, my jam, my vibe. I consider myself to be a spiritual therapist in a lot of ways because that's what my job pretty much is. If you're looking for somebody to be bloodthirsty and just out to attack other people, that's not really me, and that's not going to ever be me, but I'm sure there's somebody out there who can provide whatever your spicy spirit is searching for. Okay, enough talking. Let's go ahead and get into this tarot reading and see what my guides and their guides have to say about everything, because I'm sure they're sitting there going, ooh, this is a big one. All right, let's get into it. All right, so please give me some insight into Tati and James Charles. Okay, we're starting off with the Eight of Cups. So there's definitely, sorry for the lighting, I don't know if you're going to see it. There's definitely this feeling of walking away, and I feel like this is coming from both sides of the coin. I'm not getting the intuitive vibe that it's just from Tati, even though you would think it would be because her video was titled by sister, but I feel like this is kind of what both people need to go through in order to feel free, in order to feel like they can handle and grow from whatever comes next in life. So there is this sense of loss, there's this sense of sadness, but there's also this trust that it was meant to happen for something greater. Okay, wow, we have 3 that came out. So we have Temperance was the first card of the 3 that came out. Temperance is really all about trying to find a peaceful ground, trying to remain calm in your approach. And it seems to me like, especially for Tati, this is where she's coming from. She wasn't making this video to stir the pot, to end James Charles, even though some people could say that that's what was happening. This to me felt like I've been trying to remain neutral and calm for so long, and I just couldn't do it anymore, and I had to speak my truth. That is the energy that's coming out within the Eight of Cups and Temperance. And Temperance can also be about trying to keep your cool under pressure. So for James Charles, he's taking a major hit in his career right now. And this isn't something that I think is going to end him. Again, I really don't. I feel like he's so well established that he will come back from this. And no shade when I say this, but I feel like if what's his name from the Suicide Force situation, Jake Paul, if he can recover, then I think anybody can recover, including James Charles. I feel like this is a storm that will pass, but I think that he's also trying to remain as emotionally put together as possible, especially in the public eye. And I think that he's going to remain a little bit more quiet after this video comes through. It doesn't mean that he'll stop creating his videos. I just think that once he made this apology video, I don't see a lot more videos from him on this topic trickling out. I feel like there's a moment of pause that's happening between the two of them, and they're both absorbing what's going on, because this was definitely shifter in their personal worlds. The next one that we have here is the shadow side. In traditional tarot, this would be considered the devil card. So I'm not really sure what their zodiac signs are, but this can also point to Capricorn. So if one of them is a Capricorn, it could be nodding off to their zodiac sign. And if it's not about the zodiac sign that they have, the devil card can, well, in this case, the shadow side can bring about a lot of feeling the darker side of life. You know, when you're going through life, you feel all different waves of emotions. We are the most sentiently intelligent beings on this entire planet. We feel in depths that other creatures, as far as we know, don't. And so this is really about feeling like I'm trying to keep my cool under this loss that I'm experiencing, but it is hard and I am taking a hit. This can be depression, this can be anxiety, this can be like turning to substances of some kind to make yourself feel a little bit better and softer around the edges. Could be especially true for James Charles. I'm not saying he's a drug user or abuser or anything like that, but this could be as simple as taking a sleeping pill to be able to sleep at night. This could be even sleeping all day because you don't want to address anything that's going on around you. You want to escape it. It's about escapism. I think that's a better way of putting it. So even though we're having to address the situation and we're trying to take I need to sit with my emotions approach, sometimes as humans, again, because we're so emotionally intelligent, sometimes when those heavier emotions come creeping in and they come in like packing a huge punch, that weight can really like weigh us down, right? And it's really hard for us to pick ourselves back up and pretend that we're okay. Sometimes we need this fall in order to reassess what we want to do next, in order to kind of bring ourselves together. Think of the phoenix, right? Like it rises from the ashes. But before it rises from the ashes, it needs to kind of go through this darker period. And I think that's really what's happening here is there is this, I'm going through a really dark time, but eventually I will rise, just not right now. And this is true too with the Ace of Wands coming up after that. The Ace of Wands is, I feel, about rising from those ashes. It's about being able to recover from what went wrong. There's a lot of damage control happening that we've seen, but also behind the scenes that is taking place. I feel like there's a lot of communication, maybe not between Tati and James, but between James and other people and Tati and other people. I feel like they're turning to their circle to really address what's going on and what they're feeling. For James, I feel like he's turning to other friends around him, and he is trying to seek out, and this might be something that could happen later too, because it is so fresh. This happened 24 hours ago, so maybe he's not at that point yet, but I can feel that there will be a communication between his friendship circle and his family as well, and seeking out advice. I feel like this is going to be extremely humbling for him, and being that he is young, I think this is going to be a situation where he's going to learn and develop quite a bit as a person. What did I do with my deck? There it is. So that's what I'm seeing with this, is that yeah, this is a tough time. I feel like Tati feels liberated. I feel like it was a really difficult video for her to put out there. She was really reluctant to put it out there, but I think she's feeling this like, I just need to say it. I just need to say my truth, speak it, put it out there so that I can move on and heal, because I feel like this isn't something that came out of nowhere. This is something that continuously built up over time. But as it was stacking, I think it just, there's always a breaking point for people, right? Like we can take quite a bit, but we all have our breaking points. And I think for her, she reached that a while ago, but it just took her a little bit of time to get to this point where she's ready to talk about it. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. How is James Charles feeling in this moment during this video? How is he feeling? What is he thinking? This goes way, way deeper than sugar bear hair. This goes extremely far back. They've had issues before, maybe not to this extent. They have had issues before, and I don't remember if she talked about that in her video. Again, it was 40 plus minutes long. I'm not going to remember every detail, but I feel like this isn't necessarily anything new. Okay, so we got the King of Cups in reverse. yeah, he's really trying to grapple with his feelings. He's feeling very emotional, feeling very emotional, very vulnerable. Why is that so hard for me? What am I trying to say? I feel like he is definitely sinking in his feelings. Absolutely. The King of Cups, when he's upright, he is the master of his emotions. When he's in reverse, it feels like I'm usually somewhat okay with my emotions, but right now they're getting the best of me. I also feel like Tati kind of feels that way in some regards. I don't think she regrets her video. Again, I think this is like needed, it's necessary. But I think that she's looking at this and also coming from a very emotional place, a place that also feels very vulnerable. Okay, the High Priest. So we have the Hierophant in reverse. The Hierophant is really all about tradition. It's all about trying to do the right thing and say the right thing. Like, it's sticking with the status quo and what's expected of you. I feel like right now he feels like he has done everything that he could in this moment right now while it's fresh to do what's expected of him, like an apology video. I think everyone pretty much saw that coming, but now it's in reverse, which is where he's reevaluating what to do next, and he's not really sure what to do, like how much more he can do to regain control over his emotions and over his situations. I also feel like the Hierophant can be about turning to someone who is older and wiser and more secure than you are in this current moment. And so that can be where friends and family will play a big role. They'll play a definite big role. Absolutely. So, yeah, I also feel like some friends are feeling blindsided by this and wondering how it even got this far, how it even got to this place that it did. They're all surprised about it too. So I think that we're going to be seeing more tweets or videos, more reactions from people in the circle that are going to be kind of shocked and trying to, I don't really know how to put this. Like, they're just going to be talking about it a little bit, making small statements and maybe even big statements, but I can see information kind of trickling out from other sources. We have the Justice card upright. So the Justice card is really all about like actions have consequences, and coming from a fair place, a fair viewpoint, and reaping what you sow. Absolutely. So the Justice card is here to say that he's reaping what he's sown. And like I said earlier, this is a dose of humility. This is where you have to look back and be like, maybe I did deserve that. Maybe I need to take more accountability for my actions. You are basically in the situation, James, being called to like really take accountability for every part that you had in this, and also showing your empathy towards others that you may have hurt, and not just for damage control purposes, but because you really sincerely care. I would also recommend, if you have the opportunity to do this, try to handle this privately, moving forward, because going out there in the public back and forth, I don't think is really going to help. So if Tati is open to it at some point, have this conversation and air out your feelings. I feel like that could be a thing that could happen within the next few months, maybe even weeks. It's hard to say because the energy is so unstable in the situation. Unstable? What'd I just say? Duh. Okay, so there is a possibility to air out your grievances and to make a personal apology known when the time is right. Right now, it feels so fresh that if you were to try to approach this, you might get shut down. Just be careful. Just tread lightly. Don't make any sudden decisions. Temperance in the very beginning advised you to kind of sit still and chill for a second. Do that. Do that. Come to grips with your feelings. The darker your feelings are, the more heavy the lesson is and the larger that the lesson is. So if you take some time to sit out and just think and feel for a little bit, journal, maybe even make vlogs, or not vlogs, but videos that you might not ever release out into the public, just talking, you'll be surprised at what nuggets of wisdom will come out for you to learn. I feel like James has really learned a lot in the last 24 hours, but he still has a lot of processing left to do. Four of Cups. So yeah, feeling a bit apathetic, feeling a bit like, Man, and you can see there's a guy and girl in this imagery, and they're not talking. I mean, arms are crossed and they're just kind of like waiting for the right moment, and they're looking at the situation feeling dissatisfied. So communication probably not going to happen right now. Lay low. But in time, I think that there's going to be a chance for a resolve. Let's see what the cards have to say about that. That's my gut feeling about it, but I want to see what the guides have to say. Yes, okay, so we have Nine of Wands with the Nine of Cups. Okay, so there is a chance to rebuild. There is a chance to come back from this with your friendship. It doesn't seem permanent, but there will have to be growth that happens before you can become friends again. I feel like for Tati, her lesson is on boundaries, not like don't say your true feelings kind of boundaries, but more it's not a bad thing to be extra generous with people and to help them out, but I think it's about being more cautious and remaining firm within yourself. She seems like a very sensitive, emotional, giving person. As I was watching her video, like I think I mentioned this earlier, but it was the first time I've ever seen her. I didn't even know who she was. But the energy that I received from her was that she was very soft-hearted and somebody who would give you the shirt off of her back if you really needed it. And I think that over time that can weigh on a person. It can really wear them down. So her lesson in boundaries is really going to be about not giving so much that you're feeling depleted, and making sure that your relationships and your friendships with people are on equal playing fields, that you're not giving more than the other person. I mean, it's not a bad thing to go the extra mile, but make sure that that's not a pattern, right? Like make sure that you are not in a situation where you're giving, and the other person's just taking. They don't give much back to you. I think that's where she's coming from now, and that's something that she's really developing within herself, is that strength to say no to people, that strength to really be more critical about the people that she lets close. And I think for James, his is about emotional maturity. 1,000%. It's about integrity and emotional maturity. The Nine of Wands applies to both of them because this is a very boundary setting card. But this is also taking a moment to become stronger in yourself. It's about self-development as well. So they're both developing in big ways and in small ways too, behind the scenes that nobody would probably expect. But before they can really mend the gap and become friends again, which as much as right now it doesn't seem like a possibility, it will, but you have to develop, you have to grow before that can happen. And she needs to be stronger in herself to say no, again, with boundaries. Sorry to pause this for a sec, guys. I just want to interject here and say that even though there's an opportunity here to make amends, that does not mean things will go back to how they were before. It will not go back to how it was before. They will be on amicable grounds, but don't expect them to be BFFs that collaborate again anytime in the future. Stormy agrees. Carry on. What is the best course of action for Tati to take in this moment with James? We kind of covered it, but I just want to make sure I'm covering all of my bases before I end this reading. The Star. Okay, so the best course of action to take with James is to really focus on your own personal healing at this time. The Star is really all about healing. It's all about connecting to the divine and to the feminine aspect of the universe. So take some time to sit with your emotions. Take some time to really heal yourself, mind, body, and spirit. Get some rest. Treat your body kindly, and rely on that support system that you have on your day-to-day basis that you can really thoroughly trust. I believe she's married, right? So rely on your husband during this time because he'll understand. He feels you. He's there for you and sees you. So rely on him during this time and turn this energy inwards as much as it's difficult because it seems very external, because it's directed at James, it's directed at the public eye, and you're getting a lot of feedback. You're also gaining a lot of growth from this. Really take this time to nurture yourself more than anything, and dive into your creative pursuits as well, because I feel like that's going to be extremely healing for you. So get creative, start diving into your work, diving into your art, because that's going to be your form of therapy. Now for James, what is the best course of action for James to take during the situation with Tati? Whoa, guys. Hang on. Hold up. Wait a second. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so we have the Ten of Swords. I'm sorry if the lighting is a little wonky. We have the Ten of Swords. We have the Death card. And we have the Page of Swords. This can be about being very cautious with what you say. Be very cautious with your words and with your approach to certain situations, and make sure that you really trust the people that you're talking to. I think I heard somewhere, maybe it was in Tati's video, that he went and talked to drama channels. Stop. Lay low. Don't do any more of that, because it's kind of digging your own grave a bit more than you probably had bargained for, even though you're just trying to speak your side of the story. But the Ten of Swords is just saying, like, you really need to be cautious during this time, especially with the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords can be someone who is very impulsive. So try to tame that impulsiveness that might come up within your feelings, because you are very much in your feelings right now, and it can be very easy to slip up and make decisions at the time when you're feeling a certain way sound good, but then afterwards you're really grappling with a tough aftermath. So be very careful about choices that you're making and words that you're speaking. The Death card is also saying that you need to allow this to unfold organically. You can't, it's like, don't do damage control moving forward. Let this be. Let this lay low. The reason for that being is because I feel like you're going to get the most out of this if you do that. I feel like not only will this storm, not only will it help to like get this storm to kind of blow over a little bit quicker, it'll take time, but it will blow over quicker if you just remain kind of chill. But I also feel like it'll help you to navigate through your personal changes. This ending was necessary. The Death card is all about transformation and change that comes from one door closing and another door opening. So if you plan on reuniting with her, if you really care about her and other people that may be involved in this situation as well, this is a really good time. I said this before, but to take accountability and to allow yourself to go into a cocoon for a little bit before you turn into this radiant, beautiful butterfly, because it's all about that phoenix rising from the ashes. It's all about reincarnation. So this isn't the end. This is a chance to have a new beginning and a new direction. But you have to kind of sit and pause with the darkness, with the stillness. There is not much you can do about it, because it's going to be everywhere. It's going to be pretty explosive within entertainment news outlets and YouTube channels, drama channels, reaction videos. It's going to be popping off all over the place. So just try your best to chill, to let the storm pass in its own way, in its own time. And just like Tati, and her advice was to do something healing, this isn't so much for healing about you. This is about growing as a person. This is about defining what your values are moving on in the future. Partnerships that you want to work with in the future. This is having a clean slate and deciding what you want to do with it. So take the time to really think things through. Take some time to figure out what you can do to become a better person. I'm not saying that you're a bad person, but just take some time to figure out how you can improve James Charles, not as a brand, but as a human being. So that is the reading for James and Tati. If you have any other questions, or you want me to do a reading on any other situations that might be happening, leave me a comment down below. Don't leave any hate or negativity, please. First of all, I won't read it. And second of all, it won't even appear on my channel, because I have my boyfriend sift through every comment, and he won't let me read anything negative from anybody, because I'm such a true to the core, highly sensitive person. I will cry about it for like a month. So it won't reach me. So don't waste your time is what I'm saying. All right, guys. Well, until next time, have a beautiful weekend, and I'll see you later. Bye.
Are we recording?
Yeah.
Oh, are we? Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh,
This
all
whole
right.
time. This whole
Good.
time. Stormy, do you want to pick an outcome card for James Charles? Here. Pick a card. Oh, you want to eat that one? Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Wow. Actually, this is accurate because it was listen and give each other space.
Very nice.
Good job, my little psychic Stormy. This is PB&Tarot, so I'm Portia. This is my boyfriend, Brock.
Hello, everyone.
This is Stormy. This ball of fur that you can't really see is Moose.
I'm going to be doing the teaching aspect of everything, and we may be getting some monthly readings from these guys as well.
Yeah, we might do Stormy's forecast. Get it? And then maybe Moose's monthlies. We'll see. We're really nerdy and dorky like that, so anything is possible. So yeah, this is our little family, and we will see you guys again very soon. All right, bye.
Bye.
Bye. Moose is already checked out. He's like, I'm done.
He was checked out.
He was.